So that is the examination structure comprising of the three levels, including uh, prelims, mains, and the personality test. And somebody was asking about what are the books to be studied for the examination. So in the civil service exam, or for that matter, any other competitive exam, the important thing is it is not about what to read; it is about what not to be read, because there are thousands of books available, both offline as well as online. The content is huge, but you have to choose selectively. You have to go selectively regarding the books to be chosen. For example, for every subject, you have to go through one particular reference book. For instance, for Indian polity, uh, Lakshmikant, Indian polity by Lakshmikant is adequate. For Indian economy, Tata McGraw-Hill book is enough. For science and technology, you have Spectrum series is good. For ethics, integrity, and aptitude, again, lexicon, the ethics related lexicon book is there, and the lexicon is useful for the ethics, integrity, and aptitude. So for each subject, and for history, for fundamentals, you have to read Krishna Reddy publication. Krishna Reddy authored books published by the Tata McGraw-Hill. And apart from that, for geography, Wizard publications is there. So they are the basic fundamental books. Suppose if you happen to join any coaching institute, the coaching institute also gives you a material, and in the classroom you will be getting the notes also. So the way in which you have to prepare, make the preparation is after listening the class and after getting the dictated notes in the classroom. So you have to merge this, integrate this classroom notes with the the institute material. Then after completing these classroom notes and the institute material, the same topic should be studied in the reference book. The reference book means the book that is being have referred now. Suppose if you have attended a polity class in the institute, and in the polity class, suppose if you happen to attend a fundamental rights topic, and this on the fundamental rights topic, there will be a classroom notes, dictated notes, then followed by the institute material you have to read, and after the institute material, you're also supposed to read the same topic from the reference book also. So this is the way in which you need to prepare the notes from several sources, and your notes has to be continuously updated according to the changing circumstances, the changing conditions. So that is the way in which one has to make the preparation across various books. And somebody is asking, how should I prepare for civil exam without coaching? So without coaching also the same procedure. That means first we have to take a material from standard material, and then you have to read from a standard textbook, and you have to prepare your own notes by integrating the standard material and standard textbook. By integrating these two things, if you prepare a notes of your own, then you have to update it with day-to-day current affairs, day-to-day contemporary issues. For example, in Andhra Pradesh, several political constitutional incidents are happening. So recently, the High Court of Andhra Pradesh has given a judgment about English medium, teaching English medium in the government schools. Teaching only English medium in the government school is being prohibited by the High Court. That implies that apart from the English medium, there should also be Telugu medium. So you may be getting a question on this aspect as well. The question would be like, according to the High Court of Andhra Pradesh, which articles of the Constitution will be violated if the schools are providing only the English medium without Telugu medium? So it is a violation, particularly a breach of Article 21A. So this is the update that you have to add to the existing material. to the notes that you have made already. Similarly, the election commissioner, state election commissioner in Andhra Pradesh has been dismissed. His tenure has been reduced. And when you read this news in the newspaper, immediately you have to identify what are the constitutional related aspects in that. And in the area related to the local government, immediately you have to make a notes of it about the constitutional provisions related to the state election commissioner. So state election commissioner is appointed by the governor. His tenure is 5 years, and his tenure cannot be reduced against his interest. And the state election commissioner would be responsible for conducting the elections of the panchayats and the municipalities. And this is the fundamental things that you draw from the material. And the incident that happened in Andhra Pradesh about the state election commissioner is a contemporary issue. If you incorporate this contemporary issue in this fundamental material, the notes that you have made, that would be helpful to you to gradually update yourself. So it will take at least 2 years to make the complete preparation, thorough preparation of all the 18 subjects. If you go by the self-preparation, you have to spend at least 2 years before the graduation itself. If you want to prepare self-preparation, if you spend 2 years before the actual attempt that you are going to give, then it will be helpful to you, because there are as many as 18 subjects are there. Across these 18 subjects, you have to make the fundamental preparation, then you have to update them. So it will require at least 2 years preparation in advance so that you can crack the IAS without the coaching. And Sai Teja is asking, will coaching centers provide all the book list you said? So coaching centers will provide not the books. The coaching centers will provide the material related to all the subjects: polity, economy, history, geography, and all the subjects that I have discussed in the previous session. With reference to every subject, coaching material will be provided, not the standard books. Standard books have to be brought from the market. So that is the preparation strategy that you need to adopt. So any other question that you have to ask me, let me clarify about those things regarding the preparation strategy. So usually, on an average, according to the UPSC report, the average age of cracking the civil services is 27 years. That means minimum age to take the civil service exam is 21 years, and the examination cycle is 1 year. That means by the time you crack the civil service, it would be 22, you will be 22. So, but the candidates who are cracking the IAS in the first attempt are very rare. So on an average, they are taking around 3 to 4 attempts. By the time they finish 3 to 4 attempts, it would be, they are entering into the age of 25 or 26. So keeping that in view, if you don't have to waste your time, if you have to enter into the civil services at the tender age of 22, if you enter into the civil services in the first attempt at the age of 22, you will be having as many as 38 years of service. So therefore, cracking IAS at the age of 22 in the first attempt should be the mantra. And how it should be made? If you have started the preparation of civil services for the civil services in your graduation second year itself, or in the first year itself, at least in the final year, then you will have the possibilities of cracking it in the first attempt, because it will take minimum 1 year fundamental preparation. The basic preparation will be at least 1 year. If you dedicate 1 year completely, then you will be having the possibility to crack it in the first attempt. So for 1 year full preparation and 1 year examination cycle, on an average, it will take 2 years totally. So for the civil service preparation, so that you can get it into the services at the age of 22. If we pass in the prelims and fail in the mains, then do we have to appear the prelims again? Definitely you have to. If you pass the prelims, if you pass the mains also, and if you have appeared in the interview, but in the interview level you could not get selected, then again you have to start from the beginning. That is, you have to give the prelims. But in 2019, from 2019, UPSC has introduced a new rule according to which those candidates who have attended the interview, those who are selected will be chosen into the civil services, and those who could not get selected, they will be given opportunity to join a public enterprise in a managerial position. The marks acquired by these candidates who have attended the interview will be posted in a public domain. And when they are posted in the public domain, the public enterprises can select these candidates out of the people who have attended the interview. Because once a candidate has attended the interview means, by crossing over, by getting filtered through 10 lakhs candidates around the country, he has acquired a lot of knowledge by studying almost 2 years or 3 years in the career. And he has acquired the knowledge of history, geography, economy, polity, science and technology, Indian culture, Indian society, ethics, integrity, and disaster management knowledge. He is also having the knowledge of security management. So across 18 to 20 subjects that he is acquiring the knowledge. And he is also thorough with the current affairs. So such a person would be very much useful for a public enterprise also in the management positions. So from 2019 onwards, those candidates who are interested to join the public enterprises when they have attended the interview but could not qualify, that option is open now. And otherwise, if you are not interested to take the civil service exam, take the public enterprises, again you have to take the civil service exam. Then you have to start from the beginning, that is from the prelims itself. What advice you give for the working professionals? Working professionals, I suggest that you make the preparation according to your working hours. Suppose mostly working professionals think that they can spare their time both for the study as well as for the work. But generally it is not workable for the working professionals because you have to spend at least 6 hours for sleep. Then 8 hours in your duty. That means almost 14 hours of work. Then 2 hours you have to spend for other activities. Going to the office, coming back, another 2 hours, 18 hours are over. And you'll be left with 6 hours. And out of these 6 hours, you chat with your friends and you spend time in other activities, and that is another 2 hours is gone. And you are tired now. So therefore, on an average, a working professional cannot study more than 3 to 4 hours. So most of the working professionals, what they do is, they attend a weekend program in a coaching institute, and they make they spare 2 to 3 hours of time every day for the preparation purpose. So even if you do this kind of practice for 1 year, but in the year in which you are going to take the examination, you have to take the leave. If you are really serious about the civil service exam, you have to take leave to appear for the examination in the year in which you are going to take the examination. So thoroughly, if you have dedicated your time for 1 year completely, then definitely you will crack it. So therefore, working professionals, I suggest, make a fundamental preparation by attending a weekend classes and daily sparing time of 2 to 3 hours a day. Make this practice for 1 year. And after 1 year, completely dedicate your time and energies and skills only for the preparation purpose. Is online coaching like an academy better than offline institutes? Nothing can replace the offline institute because online will satisfy only the 50 to 60%. Offline will give you 100% satisfaction, because the only advantage with the online classes would be you will be having opportunity to prepare at the luxury of your home. So when I'm using this term luxury of your home, so luxury will always push you backward. So you need to work hard, and if you have to work hard, because the UPSC is expecting the candidate to write the examination at least 30 to 30 hours. That means 4 hours of the preliminary examination, that is 2 hours each paper. and 9 papers into 3 hours. 27 hours in the main examination, and not, of course, not continuously. Every day 6 hours of examination will be there. Morning 3 hours and afternoon 3 hours of examination. So 27 hours of main examination, 4 hours of preliminary examination, 31, and almost 40 minutes to 50 minutes of interview. 32 hours of examination will be conducted. You have to withstand this stress. If you have to withstand this stress, you have to make yourself accustomed to attend the classes in a stretch of 5 to 6 hours. You have to make yourself accustomed to the practice of the tests that are being conducted by the offline institutes. So online package would be luxurious. You can have the possibility of preparation from anywhere in the world, but offline will always be better than the offline. Are there any other jobs for person who have adequate knowledge but unable to get into the civil service? As I told you that from 2019 onwards, the UPSC is giving the opportunity for the candidates who have attended the interview to join the public enterprises. The public enterprises will take them directly. Even some corporate companies also, like Wipro, have also started taking civil service aspirants because of the knowledge that they have acquired over a period of time. Is very much useful. Apart from this, once you prepare for the civil service exam, automatically you are ready to take the state level examinations like Group 1 and Group 2. So the Group 1 and Group 2 exams are also more or less 90% of the syllabus in the Group 1 and Group 2 exams are compatible to the civil services. So the state level Group 1 2 examination additionally will have a regional history, regional economy, regional geography. Beyond that, everything is common. Regional history means, suppose if you are from Andhra Pradesh, you will have AP history, or Telangana, you will be having Telangana history. If you are from Andhra Pradesh, you will have AP economy, or Telangana economy. So these regional areas would be there in the Group 1 and Group 2, and remaining all the syllabus would be the same. So therefore, if you are preparing for the civil services, means you are also preparing for every other competitive examination in this country. UPSC has formulated a syllabus in like an umbrella syllabus. So in this umbrella syllabus, it covers everything in the country. You can take the civil service exam, you can take the Group 1 exam, Group 2 exam, staff selection exam, railway recruitment exam. So what not? Any examination, for any examination, you will have the skills once you prepare for the civil services. What are the subjects do we select? Ananya Rao from Kolkata is asking, what subjects do we select for 10+2 and degree for better results? So in the +2 level, if you choose the history, economics and civics, that would be better. At the graduation level, choose BA, HEP, history, economics, political science, or EPP, economics, political science, public administration. So these subjects would be better if you are willing to take a civil services at the +2 level itself, because 90% of the core subject in the civil service exam is based on the history, economy, polity, geography. So any of these three subjects would be suitable, more suitable to the +2 candidates or the graduate level. Sir, can there be a chance that we can crack the examination in less than 1 year if we are already preparing for some competitive exams? The examination cycle itself is 1 year. You start the examination process in the month of February. So in the month of February, with the announcement of the notification, it will start. Then in May, you will have the preliminary. In the September, you will have main examination. In the follow-up year, in the month of February, March, interviews will be there. Results will be announced in the month of April. So it is taking almost 14 months to complete the examination cycle. So therefore, you have to be ready to spend at least 1 year if you are really serious about preparing for the civil services. So preliminary exams score considered for the overall rank. The preliminary exam consisting of two papers, GS for 200 marks with 100 questions, and the second paper is CSAT, Civil Service Aptitude Test. This is for 200 marks also with 80 questions. And CSAT is only a qualifying paper. That means you need to just score 33% in the CSAT. Only when you qualify with 33% in the CSAT, you would be considered for the verification of the GS, General Studies paper. Based on your marks in the General Studies, you will be made to qualify for the mains. And the marks you have scored in this General Studies will not be considered for the rank. Rank will be completely based on the marks that you have acquired in the mains and together, personality test. And for the personality test, there will be 275 marks. So the aggregate of these two marks, the marks 1750 marks in the mains, 275 marks in the interview, aggregate, you will be given the rank. Any advice you can give to the students, like I am in the third year BTech and would like to start the studying from now? That is a very good decision. You start with the NCERT books. Anybody who are in the graduation, undergraduation, those who are in the +2 level, you start your preparation for the civil services with the NCERT books. So the National Council for Education Research and Training publishes the books for the CBSE, and these NCERT books are very much important for both prelims and the mains, because in the preliminary examination, at least 80% of the questions will be based on the fundamental concepts of the NCERT, and in the mains also, at least 50% of the questions will be based on the NCERT. And you have to read the NCERT books from 6th class, 12th class. I will tell you what books have to suggest, have to be read. In the 6th class, there will be social studies part, and all the social studies in the 6th, 7th, and 8th, you are supposed to be read. And then in the 9th, 10th, social studies books, particularly focusing on the polity, geography, history, and economics. And in the 11th and 12th class, focus should be on the political science book and history of India, world history, and sociology. In the 11th and 12th, you will also have sociology books, and those sociology books should also be read. And apart from that, in the 11th and 12th class, you will also have psychology. In psychology, two chapters are useful. One is attitude in the psychology books, attitude, and emotional intelligence. These two chapters have to be studied from the NCERT books, 11th and 12th classes only. Beyond this, psychology is not so much useful from the NCERT background. So these areas are the books to be studied from the NCERT for the beginners. You can download all these NCERT books, whatever I have suggested. All the NCERT books can be downloaded from the NCERT website itself, free of cost. You don't have to pay anything for that. So the beginners who are in the +2 or in the graduation, BA or BTech, BCom, BSc, second or third year or fourth year, start your preparation with these NCERTs. Along with the NCERTs, you should also start reading the newspaper. In fact, studying the newspaper. I don't advise the student to read the newspaper. I advise the students to study the newspaper. The difference is, from the newspaper, everybody will have a different expectation. Like a housewife will have a different expectation from the newspaper. A college guy will have a different expectation from the newspaper. And a civil service aspirant should expect differently from the newspaper. So you should not read everything in the newspaper. What is relevant to the syllabus? Only those areas relevant to the syllabus must be studied. It will not be more than 6 to 7 items will be there in the newspaper. And the most suggestible newspaper will be either the Hindu or the Indian Express. Either of these two can be would be adequate. So the people who are in the graduation or in the 10th class level or in the +2 level, should start their civil service preparation with NCERT books. Even those people who have completed their graduation, first you have to finish your NCERTs. And along with the NCERTs, you should also every day study the newspaper. And when you are studying the newspaper, you should also prepare a notes from the newspaper according to the subject. While studying the newspaper, have 6 notebooks with you. One book, polity issues. One book, science and technology issues. One book, geography issues. Another book, environmental issues. So for every subject, and another book you focus on the economy. So this, according to the subject wise, the newspaper items have to be noted in the notebooks. So accordingly, you will be thorough with the current affairs also. After completion of the graduation, you can think about whether you can join the coaching or not. So this fundamental foundation is very much important for writing the things, for understanding the things. Regarding the preparation time, somebody is asking how much time. I think it is that one has to prepare. So generally, the people who are successful in the civil service exam, they say that they have studied for 16 hours, 18 hours a day, which is impossible for a human being, because they would have studied 18 hours a day just before the examination. That is 1 or 2 months before the examination, but not before that. Even if you have the possibility to spend at least 6 hours a day, that would be adequate. Consistently, if you maintain the consistency of preparation for 6 hours a day for a 1 year period, then you will be in the final list of selection with a 1 year preparation. So it is not about what is the length of time that you have spent. It is all about how effectively that you are using the time. So across the day, suppose if you are not doing anything, if you are not engaged in any job, or if you are not studying any formal education, suppose if you start your preparation from morning 7 o'clock, 2 hours, you divide your time into 2 hour schedule, 7 to 9 one schedule, 11 to 1 another schedule, then 2 to 4 another schedule, 6 to 8 another schedule, then 10 to 11:30 another schedule. And across the day, if you divide your time, that would be sort of benefit for you. So up to what time this lockdown may extend? What will be the impact on UPSC exam schedule? Probability is the UPSC schedule will be disturbed, because already a minister from the PMO has made an announcement saying that UPSC is going to meet after May 3rd. Then in 99% of the cases, the preliminary examination will be postponed, because to conduct the examination, schools, colleges have to be taken, and the schools and colleges may not be open till the month of June because of the possibility of contamination. So therefore, in 99% of the cases, examination may get postponed. So you can also mail me to my ID if you have any queries in the future. My mail ID kptrainer@gmail.com. So you can also ask Kartikeya sir also. He would forward your queries to me. So thank you, sir.
So friends, that was a wonderful session. Sir, it was a very nice interaction with you. So I see a lot of use for Chalamandi, like they have been very much useful. It was very useful for all of them. So either queries unte, either they'll directly write it to you, or I'll ask them to send it to me so that I'll forward it to you again. I'll be a bridge between the learners and you. I'll make a bridge. So future we'll again host more sessions like this. Next time we'll plan it on YouTube so that it will go for a continuous 1 or 2 hours. We'll plan it on YouTube also. I'll conduct more sessions from your end, sir. I'll try to connect the learners with you. Friends, one thing before the session ends in 5 minutes, let me make it very simple. If you want to be an IAS or an IPS or any aspirant as such. Like if you want to be a civil servant, it can be even be a group 1, group 2, anything. The entire session, from the entire session, what I learned is the self-discipline and self-learning mechanism is the most important thing. If we are not disciplined to be what we need to be in the life, it is going to be a very big challenge. Even if someone is pushing us, driving us for next 100 years, if our discipline is not proper, then I believe nothing can be achieved. We'll be there, remain there only where we started, if I'm not really wrong. So let us be disciplined. Let us learn the things in a proper way. IAS is IAS. If you want to be that, leave everything away. I have seen people who doesn't even remember that they have a mobile phone. They just started studying as such. They prepared like that. So it's a very, very, very aspiring one. సో దయచేసి మీరు అందరూ కూడా టేక్ ఇట్ సీరియస్లీ ఇఫ్ యూఆర్ రియలీ ఇంట్రెస్టెడ్. ఒకరు అడిగారు ఇంజనీరింగ్ లో ఉన్నాను నేను అని. ఎస్, యు ఆర్ మోస్ట్ వెల్కమ్. If you have any such things, you are almost there. Start preparing from now onwards. Don't wait for someone to actually push you from the back. Take some proper guidance, suggestions. Visit the academy once, listen to the experts, meet sir, and then you will get to know what are the things you need to prepare, right? So any further queries can be dropped on my email address or my WhatsApp, so that I'll be a bridge between the learners and Krishna Pradeep sir. And thank you very much sir again here. And మీ ద్వారా ఇవాళ చాలా మందికి చాలా తెలిసి వచ్చాయి. So thank you so much. So really, so we'll try to host more and more sessions sir.
Sure sir, thank you.
So learners, thank you so much. Thanks for staying with us today. Signing off, all of you. Any queries, please drop into me, or even can drop into me or sir. We are always there to help you all. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. So if you need the video link of this, I can share with you all. Just ping me on WhatsApp. I'll share the video. Thank you.